So, self-love, what constitutes self-love? Well, like it's really common that we'll say to people, so write yourself a self-love list. And they're very often people say something like, I like to have a bath or a glass of wine, or you kind of go, yeah, well, a bath is great. Glass of wine, if alcohol's a trigger, not so great. But actually, people often don't really understand how many things are self-love practices. So our food is self-love practice, and it's not always about being perfect. Sometimes the self-love practice is to go out and enjoy a junk foodie dinner that you really have a laugh over and you've been looking forward to, or whatever it is.
Can you define a junk food dinner?
Yeah, I know, because I comfort eat with watermelon these days. My diet's so crazy. But so it might be that you decide you want to go to Nando's with your kids, and you're gonna, like, it's just, you're not gonna think about, oh, that's not even that bad, is it? I don't know anymore. Fish and chips. I don't know what is junk food dinner. It's been so long. Now I want one. No, actually, my junk food dinner is Five Guys, a bunless Five Guys, 2 patties, and all of those toppings in the lettuce wrap. Oh,
with a gherkin.
with the gherkin. Well, there we go. So occasionally, that's a really lovely thing to look forward to. I'm gonna go for Five Guys and a cinema date. Usually actually on my own. I don't really like going to cinema with people. They're going to talk at me. So there's the lovely thing. The rest of the time, I have this real thing when it comes to self-love. I don't believe in willpower. I believe in desire and discipline. And so we talk about this a lot, is that either I pretend that I want to eat healthily or go to the gym. That would be the desire. But if I'm not doing it, it's either because I don't have the tools for discipline, which is inner child parenting, or I don't truly have the desire. So then I actually need to be more honest with myself. What do I really, really want here? So the food part, right? So have I got the desire and the discipline holding me through making really conscious choices around my food? Or did somebody come into the office with a big bit of cake and I just couldn't help myself, but I shoved that down my throat? Because the truth is, when we're in radical self-love, and again, I'm going to take this away from perfection, but if we're in radical self-love and we are operating with a great communication with our inner children, and we are in alignment with the decisions we are making, we're not going to want the cake. I know that sounds crazy, but we're really not going to. We can choose to have the cake when it feels congruent, but all of those parties are kind of in alignment. There is no mindless, just going to eat the cake, just going to eat it. So self-love practice, when we put food into there, is really interesting when you start to see if we're going one way or the other. And I have definitely had experiences where I've gone too far into the eating perfectly and and struggled with guilt and panic around food. But that's not self-love either. It's this constant navigation of where's the self-love here? Where's the self-love? Rest is the same. Am I really resting, or am I actually procrastinating? So the self-love, and this is why I think it's such an important part of the emotional intelligence work, because do all those other bits just to get to this, because this is a daily practice, right? Like, is today the day that I go to the gym, or is today the day that I really drop into rest? And then am I actually kicking myself about the rest, or am I kicking myself about the gym? Like, what's going on? What is the information I'm being given? So lifestyle questions. Am I, it could be like, where's my sleep hygiene? How am I spending my food? Am I making, what are my relationships like? Am I actually in a relationship with someone I choose to be with? Are they shouting at me? Am I okay with that? Why am I okay with that? Am I able to make requests? Phone notifications and boundaries. Yeah, definitely. We need boundaries to turn off those phone notifications. And if I loved myself enough, I would. It's a great question. If I loved myself enough, what would I do differently? If I loved myself enough, would I allow this behavior? If I loved myself enough.
Have that as a little nugget in your coaching practice. If you loved yourself enough, what would you do? Yeah, it's a really, really great question.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing with self-love is we're kind of taught by society that that's selfish. We're not allowed to be in self-love. I actually think it's like the most advanced part of emotional transformation. And the people who say you can't have it just haven't, they're just not far enough on the journey yet. They can't see how radically important it is, because it's actually everything. And the more we're in self-love and the more we're in honesty and self-love, and the more we're boundaried and the more we have a no, actually, whilst it might be really annoying for, like, say, our family, we're actually giving them permission to do the same. And I love, 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 love that my daughter has grown up with so much of this. She's 19 now. And I love that she just goes, yeah, I could do that. I don't really want to. I go, great, don't do it then. Like, there's the permission. And she's so honest about it because it's been modeled. And I go, great. So there's never any of that "you're making me" kind of language with us. It's like, you don't want to do it? Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.